You didn't ask, but we're about to give you our review of Him, directed by Justin Tippings. It just came out. And guys, what did you think? I'm Spencer.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Jory.
All right, Him, spoiler free. I can start this out. Him is my most disappointing movie of the year, dude. This movie sucked. This movie was fucking. I really didn't like this movie. My expectations were really high, and I think every expectation was met in the opposite direction. And I got it. I understood the symbolism. I understood the metaphors. I understood the message the movie was going for, but it's just such a sloppy script and such a sloppy edit. Oh my God. I was just watching this and I was like, what are you doing? like what? Like, come on. Someone didn't point this out and be like, what are we like? This is so sloppy. It's so sloppy. I'm so sad and disappointed. Out of 10, I'm giving Him a 5. Maybe even a 4. Like it really, really disappointed me.
You know, it's interesting you say that, Tyler, because I've seen like a lot of people feel the same way. There's been an interesting internet discourse about like how people have been super disappointed. Too many Mortal Kombat X-rays. But
Yeah.
honestly, I really enjoyed the movie. And that might be crazy to say, but I thought it was a lot of fun. I don't think every movie needs to have the deepest, craziest meanings and greatest writing ever to just be an enjoyable movie that you sit down and watch. But I can see why people had criticisms, but I enjoyed it. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, so we were talking about this before we started our recording here. And Tyler was like, I got to remind you, Jory, this was your most anticipated movie of the year. That's what you said, like on a.
Yep. On one of our earlier podcasts.
So, like going into this movie, I had very high expectations. And I kind of agree with you, Tyler. I don't know if it lived up to those expectations, but also I'm like somewhere in the middle with like between you and Spencer, where it's like, I think I was viewing this from like strictly a football fan and like looking at all of the symbolism in that way. And I know that there's like a lot more going on, but like just strictly from that and like the fact that we got like a fun, like comedic horror thriller sport movie, I think that alone was just like kind of, I don't know, fulfilled my anticipation for this movie. But like you said, there was quite a bit wrong with this movie that I wasn't really picking up on. And yeah, so I think out of 10, I would probably say like 6.5.
It's just for me. For me, Him tries really hard to be deep and show you a bunch of really cool symbolism and metaphors and allegory and every other word that means the same damn thing for the message. And I got it. I understood what they're going for, but it's so shallow. It's so shallow. And the reveal of everything just, it just blew my mind how quickly I will say the first half of Him wasn't bad. The second half, it literally felt like they took the script. Like, let's say the script was 50 pages, and they took it and they said, "Oh, let's just take out a page here, a page here, a page here, a page here, a page here," and they collapsed and okay, now it fits the runtime that we need, so we're gonna go ahead and make that movie now. And then the writer's probably like, "Wait, but my movie doesn't make sense anymore." We'll just throw in some really cool effects, and the audience will love it. Well, guess what? Thumbs down. Thumbs down.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think it was a perfect movie, but especially like with the heavy-handed religious undertones, I feel like they could have dialed it back sometimes because the audience was going to understand what it was they were trying to get across.
Yeah, just like really shoving it in our faces.
A fun, like you were saying, Jory, like sports thriller that was shot really wonderfully.
Yeah.
It was just an enjoyable experience, especially for me in the theater.
Okay, I will say, although I really am disappointed by this movie, and my disappointment is because it could have been one of the greats. It could have been the GOAT, but instead, it could have been Him. But I will say it was a really fun movie. I never was bored during it. I went with my father and my grandfather, and I looked over, and my grandpa usually just loves every movie, and he was just like, that was ridiculous. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but it was fun. We laughed when we weren't supposed to, and we had a good time. But if I'm actually looking at it from like a film standpoint of like a movie, there's so much wrong with it. But we'll save for the spoilers. But yeah, I was very, very hyped for this, and I think it fumbled. Him fumbled the ball. Ooh, let's see how many football puns we can get throughout this entire podcast.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Oh,
yeah.
When you got to take a shot.
No, okay, I'll take a shot of this this spray.
Oh,
Oh, got a sunscreen and bug spray.
Yeah. Well, do you guys have anything else to say, like spoiler free or anything, or is this something we need to just jump into spoilers?
I think
I
we really
guess-
got to hop into
I don't know
spoilers.
if this isn't really spoilers, but just I will say, because this movie was like really heavily marketed with like Jordan Peele's name,
Yes,
and so like, and he wasn't the director.
he didn't write
wasn't-
it.
He didn't write it. And it's like, yes, his like Monkey Paw Productions was involved, and like I'm sure he had like some oversight on like what was going on. But like, I don't know. It's weird that it was like so heavily pushed that this is like a Jordan Peele film, and like, I mean, I will say like the movie that I went to yesterday, there was not an empty seat in that theater. So,
Really?
like, Jordan Peele puts people in seats, and like I think that's obviously why they want his name attached to like all of these projects. But I felt like I don't know. Not to say that he doesn't want this like under his name, but I just felt like
So-
Justin Tipping deserves a little bit more credit for this.
So two things. One, that's interesting because my theater was the exact opposite. There was only 2 other people in the theater besides
Really?
my family. Yeah, it was an empty theater. Empty
Yeah.
theater.
Mine was kind of in the middle between that. Like the row that I was in was like filled completely. There were a couple other rows filled, but like only half filled the whole theater.
It was no Demon Slayer. I'll say that.
And no, it definitely wasn't.
So
That
why
was
do you
like
guys,
Infinity War.
yeah, right. So why do you guys think that? Why do you guys think him was marketed as a Jordan Peele type movie and kind of tricking the audience? Because I have a theory of why they did that, and I think you kind of touched on it, Jory. I think they did it because they knew that this movie was not going to perform too well, but the name attached to Jordan Peele will bring people to it because they want to see a Jordan Peele movie. And if they don't know it's not a Jordan Peele movie, they'll go to it expecting it to be a Jordan Peele movie. And he's doing a lot of press for it and everything. So it's just, he is that name that brings people to it. But I think that they have really marketed this. Him will go into the category of movies you think are directed by the wrong person, such as The Nightmare Before Christmas is called Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, but he didn't direct it. He didn't direct that movie. And that's a very famous one that I can think of. I think this one will too. And I think they did that because it was not going to perform well. Whatever the reason was, I think they knew it was not going to perform well. And so they needed his name to bring people into the theater.
That's an interesting take. I don't know that they knew that it wouldn't perform well so much as they know how much money is associated with Jordan Peele's name. And just putting his name associated with the movie gives you an excuse to go crazier with the marketing. Like I remember last time we were in New York, there were all kinds of billboards in Times Square of him with the arms outstretched with him in the football, Marlon Wayans, and all this other stuff. So I don't know that if you don't attach Jordan Peele's name to the movie, that it would have received that much of a marketing push to even be as hyped up of a film as it ended up being.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think it just boils down to like what Jory said. The name, regardless of the reason, the name just will bring people.
Facts.
And that's the main things. Jordan Peele's name will bring people to the theater. And I remember even when Jory brought up him, when only the poster was out, he brought it up as a Jordan Peele thing.
Yeah. I was like,
You had, yeah, that's
They definitely do that on purpose, though.
100%. 100%.
like look at all of the like posters. Like it's like it'll say
Yeah.
like, from producer Jordan Peele, and then
Yeah.
like in really tiny font at the bottom, directed by Justin Tipping. And it's
They
like,
always make sure Jordan Peele's name is like the
Yeah.
first.
It's funny. I saw a TikTok ranking all Jordan Peele movies, and they had him in it, and people were like, "You do realize this is not a him? Like this is not a Jordan Peele movie." So it's interesting. I'm curious of how Also, I don't think, regardless, there are going to be people who like this movie, and I'm happy that there's going to be people that like this movie. Just how I like 28 Years Later, and there's a lot of people who didn't. I'm happy people will like this one, but I'm really curious because I think the overall consensus will be that this movie wasn't as good as it could have been, and so I'm really curious on how Jordan Peele will feel knowing his name is plastered all over it.
Yeah. Well, Tyler, as like a director and just in the film media space, do you feel like it takes away from what you brought to the table, like when they put another person's name like all over your project like that?
Yeah, there's a piece of me, and it depends on who you are. If it was me and I was making my first directorial debut, let's say for some reason, and Jordan Peele was producing, dude, I want his name. Like, that's so cool. Oh my God, Jordan Peele is part of my movie. Like, what? But if you're like a seasoned director and stuff, and it's like, oh, so my movie, my idea, my writing, my directing chops aren't enough, so you got to plaster this famous person's name on it. I think it might irk me a little bit, but it just really depends on how you feel about it and whatnot. But I think it's almost an honor to feel it in a way. But I do think, and I know like Henry Selick, who directed Nightmare Before Christmas, I believe he's kind of like annoyed that everyone thinks it's Tim Burton, but it's not. It's him. And so, funny enough, Henry Selick directed that movie on Netflix that Key and Peele were in, the animated one.
Oh,
Wendell and Wild, yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's just interesting. It just depends on the person and how far they are in their career, and like, I don't know. I if it was me, I'd be like, fucking throw his name everywhere. Just make sure I'm credited as what I need to be credited as. But I think for maybe a more seasoned person, it might be a little bit of a jab, being like, oh, you don't have any faith in me and my marketing and my movie and my writing. And well, maybe that was the reason for this one.
Yeah.
So why don't we hop into spoilers? Because I feel like there's a lot to talk about and not a lot to talk about with this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what did you guys think of like the whole beginning part? Let's talk about the beginning before he goes to the compound. The whole setup of the entire movie. What did you guys think of that?
I thought it was a little quick how fast they got to him getting like hit across the head and not really understanding at that point, like, oh, why is this happening? Why did that happen? And then it just kind of isn't brought up again. It's just now we're heading to the combine and he's got a concussion.
Yeah.
I would have liked it to be talked about a little bit more, but it didn't take me out of the movie completely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a little fast paced, and mostly for the reveals at the end of what that whole beginning part was with his dad and why they hit him over the head and everything. Like super fast paced. I like the moment. They really showed off so much crap at the trailer, dude. Like looking back at the trailer, they literally showed so much. So many of the moments, the scares were shown off in the trailer for him, and it was just like I knew when he goes down to pick up the football, he's going to come up and there's going to be the guy behind him with the axe. Like I wasn't surprised. So again, the trailer is fucking screwing. They showed the ending scene. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Trailers need to stop doing that. But yeah, I thought it was a little fast paced. I like the moment where we see Isaiah like break his leg, and they, for some reason, the broadcaster shows the bone.
Yeah, right.
I was
like,
thinking after he first messed up his leg, they show like an alternate close-up angle of like his leg dangling. I'm like, there's no way that's on national television.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like, okay.
And I also didn't realize that he was getting shown that video like constantly as a kid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They said that pretty fast. I was like, what?
Yeah, I thought it was a little, it didn't feel as like, it didn't feel like it had an oomph to it. Like it kind of just happens and it's like, oh, dad's like, oh, that's all guts, no glory. Oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden he's okay, now he's on the field and he's getting hit with the hit. I feel like the overall feel of him was that it's so choppy and fast paced. Things happen. Okay, movie's done. It's like, there's no time to really like relish in what's happening.
Yeah, I agree. It did feel very fast paced, and we'll get to the ending, but that also felt really quick. But
yeah.
Yeah, they just kept blitzing us with new info.
Take a shot.
There you go.
Take a shot.
I did like the scene like early on in the movie where he's like in that like I guess dressing room and he's like watching the other people do
Yeah.
like the bench press at the combine and like then his phone is like blowing up and then you hear his girlfriend and I think it was his brother and his mom like all chattering like talking. He's like getting really overstimulated and then boom the race.
Yes.
That was a good scene I thought.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I think that was that. When I was watching the first half of this movie, I was like, oh, this could be really cool if it stays on that of this like psychological fuckery, and like his brain is just going, haywire right now, and it's like he doesn't know what to trust, what not to trust, everything like that. But I think it didn't really do that again. It didn't really have that moment of like I actually felt anxious, and I think we all knew that razor. The moment he was gonna be shaving his head, I was like, dude, that scar is about to get cut.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he was way too close with those clippers.
I do like the fact that his scar in his head looked like the laces of a football.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty cool little thing.
I don't know if like that was so like that's like some symbolism in some I don't know what that could
Yeah.
was, but like maybe he's I don't know.
He is the football.
Yeah, right.
No, I think it's probably just showing like how much football in this sport can take over and destroy your body to where it's like legitimately becoming a part of you and a part of what you are and everything like that. Injuries, scars, like, I have scars from my knee surgeries from wrestling and they will always be there and always remind me of that. And you can't get rid of it. So it's the same thing. Football legitimately scarred his life. Like it is now on him forever. So that's the way I took it. And that's a better way to do it because it didn't just it didn't like shove it in your face. Like obviously they show the scar a lot, but like it wasn't like someone was like, yo, your scar kind of looks like a football lace. So, yeah.
Right. You got to let the audience like
Figure it out on your own.
stuff out for themselves. What did you guys think about the name like San Antonio Saviors and the symbolism of their mascot and stuff?
Mm.
They'll never fly nowadays. If today in the real world. A devil goat thing as very heavy-handed.
Yeah.
I think another like we're like really pushing this like whole like football equals religion like in your face type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like clears like very like I don't know. I think again I was like looking at this movie in like such like a football fan sense because like later in the movie there's like crazy fanatics like that come in and like they view Isaiah like literally as a savior to like their
they were treating him like a literal deity.
and that's like literally
He kind of was,
like,
I guess,
like
at the point. Yeah.
But that's you look at like the Tom Brady's of the world, the Patrick Mahomes of the world, like people literally like deify these human beings because they're like good at a sport. And I think just the name saviors, like, like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think I obviously very heavy-handed on that and everything. I think that's a very conscious choice to make it a savior and then make the mascot some. I wonder what, like in universe, what the reasoning for having a football team named the Saviors is, and then having the mascot be like the devil, basically.
For me, with just like how many conversations they had anyway about like football, family, God, family, football. Like if they were gonna have those kinds of conversations echoed throughout the entire film, I didn't need the team name to be San Antonio Saviors. Like, but I didn't feel like the name of the movie was gonna ruin it. But that was what I meant when I was saying it was like so heavy-handed with the religious undertones. Like,
yeah, it's just like
that's what
I'm saying. And a lot of their metaphors or their messages are so shallow because there's 100 things in the movie that remind you of religion and deities and blindly following a cult and blindly following these figures that may or may not have your best interest in the way that the upper class is abusing the lower class and minorities and stuff like that for their own personal gain. But like it's so shallow in the way that they actually developed and meshed it into the story to the point where, let's just name the football team Saviors and let's have the mascot be goat because that's not a savior. It's like, what? Like, really? You couldn't think of a better way to like make my brain's gears start turning and make me understand?
Like, I think it just would have been cool to walk out of the movie and try to think about and dissect how many other layers to this we might have missed out on. But when all of them are kind of told to you directly, it makes you think about the movie less.
Yeah,
Would have.
because I don't have anything to think about. I'm like, it told me exactly what it was.
Mm.
I did like the scene though where he's in the tunnel and he's looking out and he hears like the footsteps and that, and he looks back and I don't know if it was just my theater, but I couldn't tell what was in the darkness at first, and the hair in the back of my neck stood up because at this point I don't know what this movie's about, and I was like, oh, this is creepy, and then the guy just walks out and it's the guy painted, and I really like that scene because it's also showing how crazy people can be and like how something so innocent could end up being terrifying in the right sense, and also too like we aren't the celebrities. So it's really interesting seeing from their point of view of like maybe this is all just normal like people, but in his in his brain and because of his concussion, like he's viewing this as like some terrifying thing. And I really like that moment, and I just don't think they like went back to that.
Mm. Yeah, no, it is. It's funny how much they like kind of poked fun at like sports fandom, like because I don't know, like people like painting their faces and their whole bodies to like go to sporting events is like so common, but then like you watch it in this movie and you're just like, this looks insane. Like what is
Yeah.
he doing?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and obviously this like is supposed to be depicted that way. It's like really creepy. Like the guy's like
Yeah.
going out of this dark tunnel, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's just funny to look at it like from that point of view, I guess. So
And I think they did well with some of that stuff, just showing how crazy. And mostly, I mean, like we all played sports, and it's like in the moment you're not thinking about it, but then you're like how dangerous and somehow how crazy some of these things they're asking you to do to your body. And obviously, we never played on the professional level, but even for like high school or college, and then we're seeing it from like this perspective and seeing like the things that Isaiah is asking. What was his name? Cade,
yeah.
Cade.
Cameron Cade.
Cameron Cade, yeah, Cade, and we're like, oh, this is why would you ever do that? But it's like when we were in that moment, we did it. Again, it's so heavy handed. It's so heavy handed. So I don't know. Do you guys want to move into the compound? Just talk about everything that happened at that compound up until before the ending.
Let's do it.
Yeah. One thing I didn't like was how little the family and like his girlfriend and everybody showed up for the rest of the movie. Like the character development and how natural their conversations and stuff felt, I thought was cool. And they built that dynamic up and it just never came back again, basically, outside of the one phone call.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's such a big part because he always talks about what Isaiah's was like football god family or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Cade was family, God, football, or something like that. So that's why he is able to break free of the ending. But they never like we see like one scene with his family and that's it. And then we just don't really ever get any more character development for any other character in the movie but Isaiah and Cade. And even that development was meh.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe if it wasn't like a sleepaway type deal where he was like completely away from his family and he went to the camp and then went home or something and he got to interact with them again, talk about his experiences, maybe that would have elevated the movie from like just a fun one time or couple time watch to something great that we talk about all the time.
Yeah, because you could see how he's changing and interacting with people around him. We don't see, it's hard to see his decline when he's around like Isaiah, who's far gone. So it's hard to actually understand his decline when we don't have anyone who is normal to compare him to.
Yeah, even the agent, like he really doesn't have anyone in his vicinity of like a normal like vibe to gauge where he's at.
Yeah, I agree.
I think from the compound, one of my favorite scenes, and they showed this in the trailer, but it was like that passing drill scene where they bring in the free agents and then the guy standing in front of like the football machine. And I mean, again, looking back at this from like a football fan perspective, there's like this, I don't know, term, I guess, in football called like a hospital ball. So like if a quarterback like throws a ball, but he sees like a defensive player like beelining it for that offensive player that he threw it to, like he throws it anyway, and he gets like lit up. That's what they call like a hospital ball.
Okay, yeah,
Like, I kind of like saw it in that sense. Like every time like Cameron like missed a throw, this guy is like getting like hit in the face, like potentially having to go to the hospital, like in theory. So I thought that was really interesting, and also just like the whole idea of like what the non like I don't know like goat him players like have to go through essentially just to like have an opportunity, because like even after this guy's like all bloodied up and like got hit in the face like 100 times or whatever, he was like, I'm still grateful to be here, like it's an honor to be in your presence, all of this stuff. And I'm like, dude, what? Like,
yeah.
you went through all of this just to like not even like so
See, that's why I said is like the first half of this movie wasn't too bad. And that scene, I was watching that scene and I legitimately thought in my head, because I had seen one review and I tried to stay away from all reviews before going into this. I'd seen one review and they didn't like it. And I was watching that scene and I was like, I don't really understand why people thought this was bad. This is pretty cool. This is what I came here to see. And then it just drops off in the second half of the movie. But like that scene was really cool and really intense. And I really liked how Isaiah is just like say and just creating this rhythm, and then you see like Cade just like break out of the rhythm when he realizes what's happening, and then that intensity building up where he's getting mad at the free agents, and then Isaiah's like, no, it all falls on you, and that is true. Like, you know, in a lot of football teams and everything, like you said, you know, the big names, all the blame falls on them when it is a team sport.
Yeah. And I was like interesting to see him like be sympathetic in that moment, because like throughout the movie, Isaiah is telling him like, oh, you can't have like if you need to be the GOAT or you want to be the GOAT, you can't have feelings. Like you literally have to like put football first before everything else. Like you can't care about like what anybody else is thinking. Like this is like your job. And like for him to be like, whoa, like what's going on? Why is this guy like standing in front of this machine? Like what do we do?
Yeah.
So
no, that's a good point. Because the first thing he says after his whole face is bloodied, he's lost a tooth, he's just like, thank you for the opportunity. And these guys are really putting themselves through everything just for a chance at doing anything next to the guy that gets to be the GOAT, who gets all of the glory, good or bad, that you were talking about too. And I think my favorite scene was the concussion scene where he's got the helmet on and you think that it's him about to get his like brain scramble and get a horrible concussion, but then it's the other guy that drops and you see him like over him like cheering and stuff, and everybody's completely ignoring him, like seizing on the ground. And that to me was like a good CTE conversation. Like when things are happening to people in that way and their health and stuff is put on the line, you still see people cheering for the hit and the violence and saying, come on, we need more. And I think it did sometimes create cool conversations within football like that, but oftentimes it was too heavy-handed, like we saw with the other symbolism.
Yeah, I think that those two scenes are the best scenes in the movie. But those are like the only two football scenes we get. Like, it just stops. We don't get any, like, he's running. I don't care he's running. I want to see more football. That's what I came here for. And instead, we got a Midsommar Hereditary wannabe for the second half of the movie. And that's what I think really annoyed me, was like, we totally just missed the whole football point. And like, I get it. There's more to football. You know, there's the whole taking the blood thing, which is a metaphor for steroids and stuff like that, I'm sure. And then the ice bath and the fans. But, you know, we didn't really get to see him becoming the GOAT. It just is like, oh, okay, he's there. I don't know. It's just, I think they missed the mark with the football point after that first half. It just went down a different path I wasn't really expecting. And, but I think the best scenes in him were the concussion scene and the passing drill scene. And I liked the what's his name?
Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans. I really like his comedic touches with certain things, because it just adds this sense of like it adds this sense of creepiness. Like you can't really understand where his character is at.
I think he did a phenomenal job in this movie. Like he was really one of the best things about it to me.
I think he is the best thing about it. That's my view. I think him and the main actor, I forget his name. I think
Tyreek Withers.
Tyreek Withers. Yeah, I think they did really good. For the most part, there's a couple scenes were a little iffy for each of them, like maybe a little over the top, mostly towards the ending. But I think without them, this movie really would have fallen apart.
Yeah.
Um, Go ahead, Jory.
I was gonna ask, so like throughout the movie, Marlon Wayne's character like constantly like whenever like he was asked to do something, he would like, I'm gonna go watch some film. Or like he would say
Mm.
something like meaningful. Like I think they were in the sauna. I forget exactly what he told Cameron at that point.
Well, he said throughout the movie, he was just like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
like
watch film. I'm gonna go watch
he was like, I'm
film."
gonna go watch film, I'm gonna watch film. Like, do you think that had any like significant meaning? I think by the end we saw like what he was watching, just like
It was just the fans like
the fans
whooshing,
praising him.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought that was interesting how he like always just needed to go and do that.
Well, again, I think that's just it's so heavy-handed. It's showing that a lot of people don't do this for the actual glory of winning and being good at a sport. They do it for the fame. They do it for the attention that they get, and not necessarily for I want to be the best at football. It's like I want to be worshipped.
yeah. And I think they touched on it a little bit during the final battle scene, where he's like, I don't want to give this up. Like I'm not ready
Yeah.
to pass on the torch, so to speak. And you see him in the room watching film, quote unquote, and you see why.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things that, like, again, I understood a lot of the symbolism, the messages, the metaphors, everything I said before. It's just that it literally just tells you to your face. Like, it would have been cooler if they didn't, like, maybe he comes into the room where Isaiah is, and we don't actually get a close up of what he's watching. But if you analyze the movie, you're like, oh shit, he wasn't watching film, he was watching the fans. But no, they just literally just show you. Just like, okay, you know what? This is the way that I took it. The movie Him basically said to us, you're too stupid to put the pieces together, so we're gonna tell you everything and you're gonna understand it because I'm gonna shove it in your ear, and you're too stupid to actually piece it together. And that's literally just what I felt with the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just yeah. But what and back to the whole compound and the training thing, like I don't know, there's just like those two football scenes, and then like the running, and I'm trying to think what else they did. What they went.
When he was in the sauna, that
Yeah, I was going to
like,
talk
broke
about
in.
when that girl climbs in through the sauna.
Yeah.
How did they all get inside? Like this looks like a military compound type house, and you're telling me random fans can just slip in and out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. You could go either way. You could say it was just a figment of his imagination, because then Isaiah's like, "What girl?" And he's, "Oh, that girl." And so is he just accepting the fact that he's having these visions, or yeah? Also, like it's one of those things where it's so like this is the way that, again, another way I put it, that I feel like the screenwriters and the writers of this movie felt. It was like, okay, guys, we need to have a message about fans and how obsessive they can get and how it can be, weirdly horrific for the actual players and stuff, and the deity worshiping thing. Okay, let's have one scene in the beginning of the movie that sets them up very briefly, very quickly, very on the nose. And then later in the movie, we'll have one scene where it happens, and then we'll never talk about it again.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah. So what was the purpose of it? I guess it was just also showing, like, the way that I took it was that the higher class, these people that you worship, don't care about you. Like, they'll kill you and they'll just laugh about it, and let's clean it up and let's have a party while it's being cleaned up. Like, that's the way I took it, was that literally they just don't care about you, and you worship these people that they don't care about. And also, like, the fact of how people hold on to the past. Obviously, they don't want Cade to take over from Isaiah.
So the whole like visions thing, like throughout the movie, I think was part like what confused me, like what was real, what wasn't real, and like I don't know, like I felt like that was so hard to like keep track of, and like also like we mentioned, like the injecting of the blood, and then like on top of like the CTE that he was probably getting at this compound, like there's just like so many different factors at play that like I don't know. Like I
And that's
understand
before
that
we
it's supposed to be like mysterious and like you're not supposed to know like what's going on,
Mhm.
but I felt like it would have helped if it was like
A little
give, like,
less.
a little bit like of a
Yeah.
yeah. Because I was just
Yeah.
like, I have no idea like what he's seeing and like what is real, what he's dreaming.
Yeah, and it's the thing is that the movie doesn't really play into it at the end where it's like what was real and what wasn't real. Oh my god, no! It just feels like they were just doing it to confuse the viewer and to create scares or thrills. It didn't actually feel like they were pushing in on the concussion type of message.
The party scene during him was really hard for me to like understand. There were so many flashing lights and colors and stuff. It was hard to tell what was actually happening, what was being perceived in his mind and hallucinations. Did you guys feel like you understood it?
No, the editing was terrible. The editing was terrible. And it's not even one of those things where it's like we're seeing so many different unique things and it's like what's real, what's not. No, it's just the editing was terrible. I couldn't even tell what was on screen half the time, let alone trying to decipher it. I mean, that was when the movie really, really broke for me, was that party scene. From that day past to the end of the movie was where him really just took a dump on my face. Because I literally was like, dude, like I can't even see what the fuck is happening, and it's supposed to be this pivotal moment, and it takes 10 seconds, and all of a sudden we're in the next day, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
things were going too fast when he was downstairs lifting in his suit at the party. I was like, they couldn't even let him put on a change of clothes if he's gonna work out. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, Tyler. Like when that scene went on, like, and it was building up to be like really interesting. They go to this like rundown motel, and like, why are they having this party if they're like have this huge organization with all this money? And then they show up, and he meets the owner, and then it just like went to chaos, and I was like, what is literally going on? And then the next thing you see is the health specialist guy's head chopped off.
Yeah.
I was like
What happened?
okay, like literally,
Yeah.
what the hell just happened?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that real quick, because first of all, the agent shows up. They have not built up this agent at all. Not even just like, oh, I missed it. I missed that he was all creepy. No, they didn't build him up at all. He's in like 2 scenes in the beginning of the movie. I like didn't even give a flying shit about him. He's there, and now he's a part of the cult and everything. They didn't build that up at all. And then the doctor gets beheaded. What?
Yeah, he went from telling him like, "Hey, run away," and then 30 seconds later, we see him completely decapitated. I'm like, how did we get here so quickly?
Yeah, not only that, but like, okay, I get it. I guess they decapitated him because he was trying to like help him or save him. But like, first of all, if he was really trying to help him or save him, like, why was he even there in the first place? And then
Then how is showing him the decapitated head gonna help him sign his soul away to?
yeah, dude, so
Like that feels like something you like want to wipe under the rug until at least tomorrow.
so
Like,
stupid.
the dotted line first.
So stupid. And Isaiah's wife was so stupid. She just came out of nowhere with the butt plug shit and then came back later. And I was like, what are we doing? What is happening?
Yeah, then Julia Fox ends up somehow being like one of the titans of the soul selling.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Like-
I don't, we got to wait to talk about the ending because we'll get to it. So don't keep your thoughts for that ending, because I have
some. I definitely
have to say it's about that ending. But yeah, the party scene was when it all broke for me. I was like, wait, what? This is just this is where I felt like they took pages out of the script, and it just was so choppy. It was so choppy. It wasn't one of those things where it's like I can't wait to analyze it and look at every frame that I missed. No, it just felt like in him, it really felt like style over substance in the second half of the movie. Half the time, it was just like, oh, I have a really cool idea for a shot and an effect, and I'm gonna throw it onto this moment, and you're not gonna know what you're seeing because the effect is there. Fuck you. That's what I have to say.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And then we go from that, right? We go from that, and it's so obvious he's drinking the blood instead of it being wine or something like that, and he sells his soul away and whatever. And the next day he wakes up, right? The next day he wakes up and he goes and fights Isaiah.
Right.
Where is the decline? Dude, he goes from like, Mom, I'm seeing visions, like, I don't know how I'm feeling
Yeah.
about this, to the next day, party scene within 10 seconds, to the next day, okay, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. And I'm gonna be the new him.
Yeah. He's
He
sitting
had
on the
that
ice.
beast blood inside him at that point. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of crazy, but it was fun.
Yeah, fun, but like I'm looking at it from like a standpoint. I'm like watching
Yeah.
the movie, like, what? Did I miss something? Did I like fall asleep for a couple of minutes there? Because I really feel like I fell asleep in the middle of him, and I woke up like 30 minutes later. But in reality, I didn't.
Mhm.
So then he goes and he fights Isaiah. What do you guys think? I'll let you guys have the floor about the fight with Isaiah before we get to the real ending. What do you guys think about the fight with Isaiah?
I think it was interesting because they like throughout the movie they kind of like made this whole idea of like, okay, we're gladiators and there can only be one like that like leaves this arena, essentially it becomes the next goat or whatever. So and it was cool that they didn't really use like guns throughout the movie. I know there was that one scene like after like he woke up and he was like, "Did you sleep with my wife?" And then he had like a gun pointing to his head. But for the most part, it was just like swords and you know. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That like a stylistic choice. But yeah, I felt like one thing that a minor thing that I might have changed was like instead of having Cameron's character like circling around um Isaiah's like as so like Isaiah was, I guess going on this like long monologue, right? Like he was the one that was talking, whereas like Isaiah was like circling around him. Like I felt like in the reverse, it would have been better. Kind of like a shark is like circling his prey like before he attacks, right? Like that would have been interesting.
I
But
actually kind of liked that it was Cade circling him because they're talking about like the beast, I guess, and how it's been like transferred to him. So to me, I saw it more so as like he was cornering Isaiah because he was the one that went in there to confront him anyway to even have like the final battle.
mm,
Yeah, I think either
And
way it could have worked. Yeah, I think you could see it either way. I guess it's kind of a subversion of your expectations that he's the one circling Isaiah this time, but yeah, I don't know.
I thought the set was cool, like where they had the final battle. And I thought the detail of the blood coming from the person that came from before Isaiah and it had been passed down. That was like a neat detail, I guess.
Yeah, so let's talk about the reveal. Let's talk about the reveal in him about everything that happened and what the whole like power is. I mean it's like obvious that the blood was giving him the powers and everything, and I thought there was going to be some really cool reveal at the end, and it's just like, oh yeah, no, the blood, yeah, it's just the blood, just
yeah.
passed down.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the actual like beast or whatever it was that he was hallucinating, like come back as like something more tangible that we could see during the fight.
Yeah, or just something like lore drop, like make the world feel alive. It's just like, oh yeah, like the person behind before me and the person before him, the blood just passed down before everyone, and now it's gonna go to you. Okay, that's it. That's it. So shallow. Like, I don't know. Let's drop some lore. Let's talk about the beast. Was this a god or a deity that came down or something? What is it using the football players for or anything? Maybe people don't want that, but it just felt like the reveal of the blood just being passed down was just so quick. It just happened like, oh yeah, by the way, it's just passed down between everyone. Okay, let's fight now. And I was like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
That's the reveal? Was the thing that you've said throughout the entire movie? Like, but now you've added that there's people before you. What? Like, I just was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Like, it had a really good, like, I don't know, you could have just had such unique twist or just reveal or bigger lore drop or something, like make this world feel alive, make me feel like, holy shit, is there other teams that have other gods or deities that are coming down and like giving power? Like, what is happening? Like, what is no, it's just like, oh yeah, just the blood's passed down, I've been giving you the blood. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're right. I think it would have been interesting to see like I don't know, even like a minor transformation of like Isaiah's character. Like I don't know, as like he was like a beast was growing inside him.
Yeah,
Something
so you could
like
like see what being the goat like means.
Maybe he grows horns or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
something like that, or like something.
Yeah, just something like it was just such a weak reveal. The reveal in him was just so weak.
Because they've talked so much about like what the blood could do for you, but it really just boiled down to a regular fight, like fist fight
Yeah.
with I guess a helmet.
Not like that, but they talk about it. But like I said, I don't think we really saw the decline or incline of Cade Cameron. He gets the blood when he's injured, and you see his like body kind of rejuvenate, and that's it. They just okay, that's it. He doesn't get any superpowers. He doesn't like do anything. Like not he doesn't need superpower. He doesn't even be flying, but he doesn't like it doesn't feel like he changed at all. And then all of a sudden the party scene happens, which was a fucking eye fuckery. And then he's like, okay, I'm battling Isaiah. And I'm like, whoa, 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 calm down.
Yeah, I
Calm
don't know if it
down.
was just me, but when they were having the conversation about what would you rather have, never get tired or never get hurt, I assumed that's what the blood was going to mean later on. So it would have been cool to me to see one of those play out where it's like, okay, they're in this fight, but neither one of them can get hurt, or they're in the fight, but only one of them is getting tired and the other guy can go on forever because he's got more blood.
Yeah.
I thought there were different ways that they could have played it to make the climax of the movie feel more special.
Yeah, and I think also like he talks about his contract being up, which is why he needs to pass it. But we like there's nothing else about it. Like, oh, my contract's up, and it's you or me now. And like, what does that mean? What is what happens if your contract is up and you don't find the next go? What happens? Like, there's nothing to ride home with. It's just blood gets passed down, and yeah, that's it. And then we go into the ending. Did you have something to say, Jory?
No. That was just crazy.
And then we go into the ending, and at the ending of him, how do I put this? How do I put this nicely? The ending of him sucked, dude. Might have been the worst ending I've seen all year. I literally was just laughing the entire ending piece. What a terrible last 10 minutes. I don't know how you guys feel. Yeah, like dude, I really hated the ending.
Yeah, it was out there. It was definitely a little out there. Like it didn't ruin the movie for me, but it definitely just the just whole back end of the movie just felt flatter than it should have felt. It should have felt a lot more fantastical based off of all the minute details that they had been building up, and like what I felt like they were breadcrumbing us towards was something absolutely insane, only for it to end up really regular. And I thought that specifically, like when he was throwing that sword, there's no way you throw a sword like a football.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why that specifically bothered me, but him throwing the sword in like a perfectly straight line with football form, I don't know if that's possible.
Maybe that's the beast inside him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
Yeah.
I don't think they build up the cult of the older gentlemen, the people, the higher ups, the higher class taking advantage. They never built them up. They came into the fucking party scene 10 minutes before, and then they think that that's enough to build this up. They should have been a presence throughout the whole film. We don't need to see them as a character, but they should have been a presence. Maybe always watching the training or something like that. Like they're always there, always in the background, and not actually caring about the health of Isaiah and of Cade and stuff like that. And then Isaiah's wife, her death legitimately made me feel like they just did not care about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like her getting up and then tripping and stabbing herself in the neck. I was like, okay, all right, this movie sucks.
Like, they didn't even try to write something like interesting. I don't know. Like,
I don't even care what the metaphors were for that. What the message was that. It was stupid. It was so stupid.
yeah, falling on your own sword.
Yeah, that felt like a waste.
And
But,
all the older gentlemen and stuff, and the reveal that Cade's dad has primed him for this, and has been priming him for this.
Yeah, I feel like they could have like revealed that in a better way, maybe, or like a more impactful way, to where he was like in a more emotional scene. They were just like, no, we were grooming you since you were a kid, and that was it. And I was like,
dude, the acting at the ending of him was literally the equivalent of recording a jelly bean. Like, it was so dull.
Yeah.
Like, when he goes, yeah, we were grooming you, like, since you were a kid. And then the other guy,
huge thing. Like, you're just gonna gloss over that? Like,
gloss over it. We didn't even see any. We barely saw a scene with his dad. Why do we care?
Yeah.
Like, we don't care that he's been
thought it
groomed.
would have been better if they had introduced it as like earlier in the movie where it could have been seen as like a positive thing. Like where he's still like, okay, yeah, my dad is my hero. He gave up and sacrificed so much for me to be in this position. And he's the only reason that I have, this opportunity now. And then he's like happy and ready to go in and sign his soul and all this stuff away. And then when he gets to the end, he realizes how bad this is. And then he has like a switch up on what his dad has put him through. And then it's like a different mental toll.
Yeah,
but
no.
they just gave it to you like it was nothing.
Yeah. And then,
yeah.
and then
And then
probably,
nothing else.
yeah. And then probably one of the worst pieces of dialogue I've heard in a movie all year comes from him. I'll kill your whole family. I just was like, oh my God, dude. What? Who watched that? What test screening watched that? When they filmed that, did they not say, let's get another take of that? That sounded fucking atrocious.
Yeah.
I could have done better. Like,
sign this contract. And I was like, okay.
I'll kill your whole family. What? Like, I'll kill your whole family. Just put Siri voice in there at that point. Like, fucking
Deadpan delivery.
Deadpan delivery, no emotion, no nothing. Literally sounded like he was like reading the script. Jory, who was worse? The guy who said, I'll kill your whole family, or Ice Cube in that world, that movie?
Man. Nah, Ice Cube had some he had some emotion.
Yeah.
I will say. Not a terrible movie, but his deliveries was a little bit better than that.
Yeah, that was I just that's where I lost it. I was like, oh, God damn it! Now I know why this movie got terrible reviews. But he comes in, right, and he's like, okay, like sign your soul away, whatever, before all the crap goes down. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. Right? He's like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And although I saw your arm get fucking snapped in half in the fight with Isaiah, now your arm looks perfectly fine, by the way. And then he starts doing this bloodbath. What do you guys think of the whole bloodbath?
Yeah, it was like
A great way to stay clean.
over the top, I guess. Like, I
Yeah.
felt like they didn't. I mean, the whole movie was very violent, but then it was just like blood spurting everywhere. Like, yeah. Then the agent was like
No.
sacrificed and like just exploded behind him as he's walking off.
That was way too quick too.
And I was just
It's so fucking stupid, dude.
Like the agent's like, please leave me alive. And he's like, okay. And then he walks away and then gets like magnetized to the middle and implodes.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, where he beheads the owner.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool at first because it was reminding of when he was throwing the football against the field post, which they just never brought back until the ending. It's one of those things again where they set it up at the beginning of the movie. I'm like, oh, this could be a cool reoccurring thing of like the field goal post, shaking. And what does the field goal post represent? No, just at the ending, just to be a cool little moment where he decapitates the owner. But then the stupidest effects I've seen of the most stiff fake body standing there as a volcano of blood explodes from his body.
Yeah, it was like a water hose.
It literally looked like I took like a fake body and I put one of those like science fair volcanoes behind it and I had it explode. But I think my version would look better than what they did. Like it looked so stupid. It took me out of the movie. I'm like, why is his body still standing?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Dude. Yeah. I don't know. Just
So
like,
stupid.
I think it all goes back to like forcing this, like, I don't know, meaning and religious meaning onto it. Like, I guess I will say it was interesting that his like perspective of like the whole no guts, no glory thing like changed like throughout the whole movie. It's like, oh, I need to have, I need to like persevere through this like football training to like have glory. But then by the end of it, it was like actually like having guts means like standing up to this like sadistic owner or cult
Yeah.
like owns the team, and like I need to like stop this cycle of like this weird thing that's going on. Like, yeah, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
guess
did
that was
like that
interesting.
in a way he lived up to what Isaiah was saying that he wanted from him when he was saying, oh man.
where he was like, be a goat like in a different way. Is that
No,
what you mean?
it was more so like man, I'd drawn a blank as like soon as I was about to bring it up.
Well, if it comes back to you, bring it up. But yeah, I mean, the ending could have had really cool messages or symbolic moments, and it did. I mean, there's some things in there that are like interesting. It's just that the build up to it was terrible, and I think the actual ending was like really stupid. I just thought it went over the top. It kind of reminded me of like Weapons, where the ending became this weirdly comedy type thing, but this one just went way over the top, and it like did what Weapons did, but like put it like rolled it around in some dirt first and some poop, and then like put it on the screen or something. Like
Yeah.
it was just stupid, and I didn't understand. Like throughout the whole movie, we've never seen a demonic presence. We've never seen a ghostly presence. We know that there's some cult, but we've never seen like a paranormal thing. And then randomly, the paranormal thing comes and takes the agent and explodes him into bloody mist. What? Why? We don't need that. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what it was now. I was gonna say that Isaiah tells Cade that a killer doesn't care what other people think. And when he gets to the end scene, he has the ability to like care about what everyone else is thinking and wants for him to like sign his soul away and all of that. But he kills literally everyone and doesn't care about any of their opinions about why he should do what they want him to do.
That's a good point.
yeah. Yeah, it's too bad the movie didn't really hone in on that.
Yeah. One of the few things they don't explicitly like.
Yeah.
in-
And the other thing is like I feel like he didn't even like think about like his family, like his mom or something. Like it should like that should have been the moment. It should have been the moment where like he thinks back to his family. 'Cause remember, he's always putting family and what is it, family and football or family and God before football or whatever. And so it's like this moment where he's able to break free because of that. No, we're just not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about any of that. We're just going to show you some stupid effects and call it a day. And also, we're going to show you in the trailer as well. We're going to show it in the trailer.
the trailer did spoil a lot of stuff.
Gotta stop watching trailers.
God,
But then how are we supposed to know that we're gonna like the movie?
you got to go in blind. You got to go in blind. Yeah, I don't know. It has potential. And is him the worst movie of the year? No, it's not the worst movie of the year. It's just the most disappointing for me because my hype for it and my expectations were really high. I mean, give those trailer editors a raise because that trailer was fire. but besides that, there was just nothing else to the movie. It was so shallow. And I just don't think I feel like there's a movie in here. I feel like there's a good movie in here. I just don't think this was it.
Mm.
Gave me some good learning exercises of how not to edit a movie. That party scene was fucking atrocious.
Yeah, it was
I'm glad
difficult
that-
to process
I'm
some
glad
of that.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought that because I was just like,
Atrocious.
am I like missing something?
Literally. I'm like staring hard at it. I'm like, man, I'm not getting this.
It's not even that like I don't like. Yeah, it's like I'm not getting it. It's not because I'm not getting it because I'm stupid. It's I'm not getting it because I can't even.
Yeah, because
fathom-
it actually doesn't make sense.
It doesn't actually make sense what you're putting on the screen. It's like just flashing a flashlight in my eyes and saying, "What is this? What is this? What is it?" It's like I don't know. I can't process. I will say though, some of the effects they had in him were really cool. I liked the X-ray effect. I thought that was a really cool effect. I liked the glowing helmet when he kills Isaiah. I thought that was also really cool. I liked like it felt like the camera was like constantly shaking when he was fighting Isaiah. Like this was like the culmination. I don't know. I thought some of those effects were really cool, and I've been seeing this thrown around a lot. Do you guys think him is style over substance?
Mm, I wouldn't say style over substance completely. I think that it had a lot of ambitious ideas that weren't all properly or fully fleshed out and executed, that kind of brought it back to where you can see from the style that the movie has, it had the potential to be incredible. And I think that's why so many people were disappointed with it, because when you're watching the movie, you can tell that it could have been like really like truly like a classic. But the stuff that it misses on kind of does bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, I think like what you said, Spencer. I feel like there was a lot of really good moments though, like between Marlon Wayne's character and Tyreek Withers' character. Like when I mentioned, like in the sauna, where he's talking about like, you know, you have to like create your own path and like do something different than what I did. Like I don't want you to like copy exactly what I did. You have to like be your own person. And then what you were saying earlier, Spencer, about the like the killer has no feelings, and like, you know, you can't like take into account like what other people are thinking if you're going to be successful. So I feel like there was like a lot of interesting like one-on-one things that had like good substance, but like near the end of the movie, like definitely kind of just got out of whack.
Yeah. I think the first half of the movie isn't style over substance. I think the second half of the movie is style over substance. I think the second half of the movie, they just wanted to do some really cool stuff, really cool set pieces, really cool effects, and the movie really was downgraded because of that. Now, whether or not that's because of the effects or that's because of other reasons, a bad script, a bad, they needed to cut it down to an hour and a half. This was a short movie. So regardless of the reason, I think the effects took like a huge step forward in the second half of the movie to be like a huge part of every scene was what cool effect can we do?
Mm-hmm.
So, our famous question, should you watch, rent, or skip Him? Directed by Justin Tippings.
I think.
I think if
I'd
you're
say
like
Rent.
a diehard football fan, you might enjoy going to see this in theaters. But
Yeah.
if you just are kind of interested in the movie, I think most people are better off streaming this than going out and paying $20 to see it in the theater.
Yeah. I wouldn't skip this movie. I feel like it's not all bad. And it's like, you know, if you can see past like some of the, like you said, the style over substance and the fact that there's just like a lot of like, I don't know, didn't live up to like what it was supposed to be. It's fun. It's fun. So like this would be a fun movie to watch. It's getting colder outside. If you want a fun fall movie to watch, put on the TV for an hour and a half.
Yeah. I think you skipped this. This movie was not a touchdown. I think it was a fumble.
Oh, man.
This movie was a fumble. I think you wait to rent it because it is fun. It's like stupid fun. It's one of those movies you got to know. You're just gonna put it on. You're gonna make fun of it. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna find some cool parts. You're gonna be like, okay, that might be a little stupid. I think it's a good rent, but I think you should skip it in theaters and watch The Long Walk instead.
Yeah, if you just want an absolute gut punch.
Yeah, an absolute goated movie. Watch The Long Walk instead. I think The Long Walk, here's the way I put it, is The Long Walk I went into with no expectations, expecting it to be a stupid slasher, shooter, killer type of movie. And I ended up getting a really, as we said, a really deep character development movie with super great messages. And I went into Him expecting to get a really, really great deep movie with super unique messaging about football and everything like that. And I ended up just getting like a slasher movie.
All right. So I got some football puns.
Okay.
We're just going to rattle them off. I really think Marlon Wayans carried this movie.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
No. Oh, no.
I think Marlon Wayans put on a passionate performance.
No.
Okay. Come on. That's good.
I felt like they didn't. Oh God. No, wait. How do I want to say this? There was. I feel like they tried to tackle too many themes.
Okay. All right.
That was nice.
I like that one.
I don't know if I have any more.
Um, why'd the stadium get hot after the game?
This is not a fun.
Yeah, what?
This is a joke.
All the fans left.
Boo.
Um,
Boo.
yeah, this movie.
Boo.
Yeah.
Where do you guys think him ranks among all 2025 movies?
Oh man.
It's right now it's the bottom 3 movie of the year for me.
Bottom 3? I don't think it was that bad. To me, it's like a middle of the pack movie.
I want to see all the movies.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many movies I've seen this year.
Okay, so right now
that we've reviewed.
All right.
right now I have logged this year that I've watched in 2025. This is including rewatches and also new movies, but it is the fourth. Him is the fourth lowest movie for me of the year. Below it is Captain America: Brave New World, Venom: The Last Dance, and I Saw TV Glow. I have Mission Impossible's above it. I have How to Train Your Dragon. I have Wicked. I have Eddington above it. I have Jurassic World, The Substance, Mickey 17, Superman, Ballerina, Nosferatu, Thunderbolts, Weapons, Fantastic Four, F1, and Demon Slayer, Killer Killers, Neja 2, Long Walk, 20 Years Later, Sinners, all above it.
So you think Jurassic World Rebirth was better than him?
I had a lot more fun with Jurassic World Rebirth.
Really? Okay.
I
wouldn't say that.
I had a lot more fun with Jurassic World Rebirth than I had with this movie. Maybe it's just my expectations with the Jurassic World movies are that they're just going to be stupid fun. So I went in and I just had a blast. I had a smile throughout my whole, like the whole movie in Jurassic World. And yeah, it's stupid, but like, I don't know, it was fun. And it just like this one, I just was like, oh,
Like maybe it's just like football bias, but I feel like I had it over Eddington too.
Really?
I think this is better than Eddington,
I have it as it. Wow. Yeah.
but it's still pretty low on the
Yeah, like I wouldn't say it's the greatest movie I've seen all year. Like I wouldn't have it up that high, but I also wouldn't have it low. I feel like it's just an all right, fun movie. If this came on TV, I would be like, you should definitely sit down and watch it. But as far as going out first week to make sure that that you get to see it, it's not that good.
Worst movie I saw this year so far, I think, was Honey Don't.
I haven't seen that one.
That movie was so bad. That movie was worse than this. I'll say that. But other than that, and probably Eddington, I don't know. Him is
Really? You guys have Eddington that low? I have Eddington at number 32 out of 41. I mean, I didn't love Eddington, but I don't know. I guess maybe Eddington's got to go further down. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Eddington doesn't deserve to be that high. I don't know. When we get to these low end movies like this, like it's kind of hard to like pinpoint. Like I have Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning at number 37 out of 41. Like I had that one pretty low.
oh gosh.
I don't know why, but I do. Why do
I wasn't the biggest fan of the newest Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought the second to last one was better than
I have that one at 33 out of 41. I don't know, dude. Just when we have such great movies like Sinners and 28 Years Later and The Long Walk, Neja 2, Demon Slayer, F1, Fantastic Four, and Weapons and Thunderbolts, Superman and Ballerina. Like, dude, we had some bangers this year, and this just doesn't come anywhere near those movies. Probably gonna get hate for that, but that's all right. I'm ready for that.
Honestly, people are probably going to be more in line with what you're saying based off the other reviews I've seen. People,
I don't know. I was telling Jory that I saw a TikTok today of this girl saying, "If you're not black or you haven't been to therapy, you can't critique him." I was like, "What?
Are they spitting?"
I was like, "What?"
Oh my god.
I was like, "Okay, then if I'm not allowed to critique it, they shouldn't have let me in the movie to begin with." Yeah, I'm so there's 3 movies that I think real quick that have like really crazy endings, like over the top endings that we have seen this year. The Substance, Weapons, and Him. Which one had the crazier ending?
Mm,
I'd say The Substance had probably the craziest one to me. I wasn't expecting
yeah.
that movie to wrap up like that.
I don't think anything could beat The Substance. I thought that movie was going to end 10 times before it actually ended, and it just kept getting crazier.
Literally, like I don't want to spoil The Substance because you guys really should go and see that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was not expecting it to go that far down the body horror route.
Dude. That movie still haunts me to this day.
Should they make more sports horror movies? Or did him destroy the reputation?
I mean, I definitely think they should make more, like a basketball movie where they explore how or why people are so willing to become and pursue being the GOAT. That could be fun.
Yeah, I feel like it could get a little repetitive because like the huge theme of this is just like what you're willing to do to like pursue this glory, and I feel like if you keep doing that, like I don't know how many different avenues you can really go.
Because every sport is very similar in a way of like pushing your body past its limits for your sport. I think it could be cool. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a couple more. Because I think, like I said, I think him had a really, really great the premise. I just don't think it landed the touchdown. I don't think it I think it was an interception. It didn't find the end zone. They cut away to Taylor Swift in the middle of it. No, I actually liked it. That would have been better if they did that in this movie.
No, I didn't have I wouldn't have a problem with them trying it again with other sports movies because I feel like kind of all genres kind of have genre defining things about them that you see reused a lot. Like if you're watching slasher movies, it might not be one to one the same as the other slasher movie that you've seen if it's like a cabin in the woods versus you're in a field or something. But you know what the kind of movie is. So a different type of sports psychological thriller I think could be fun. You just have to do it the right way.
What sport deserves the next horror movie? Golf.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's called Happy Gilmore
I want to see one for like boxing or something.
That would make sense.
That would be cool. Smashing Machine in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
if
like
that movie,
some kind of like combat sport, I feel like would be interesting.
Because that's really gladiator. Like you could really go down the route of like gladiator type stuff. It doesn't even have to be horror. Just like I don't know. Would you classify him as a horror movie?
Honestly, I don't feel like there's enough scares in it for it to be a horror. I would say more thriller.
Psychological thriller, yeah, with horror elements in it.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, Smashing Machine in 2 weeks. If that thing sucks, my faith is done. I'm done. I'm done. No, I'm not. But that movie looks really good. Speaking of MMA and boxing,
We'll cleanse our palate.
Any other movies you guys think would be cool?
any other sports or
Sports, yeah, that's what I meant.
I think like wrestling in that whole route, like wrestling, MMA, boxing, like that whole like one-on-one combat sport, mostly like wrestling and stuff like, or any of those ones. Like I think the body horror could go crazy because you like the stuff you have to do to your body to like make weight and stuff could be like disgusting. But you have to find a good message, like Jory said, because every horror movie that's a sports thing would just be the same. So you got to find specific elements to each sport to hone in on. It can't just be the same thing rehashed.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like maybe it doesn't even have to be like this like paranormal horror. Like maybe the movie's just horrific because of what it is, just like over exaggerated, like what a wrestler or boxer has to do to their body in order to make weight, and like what it's doing to them on the inside, and like how it's affecting their families, their bodies, their, what they're like. Really just exaggerate that. Like, I don't know, something like that could be cool or something. I'm sure there's something out there. I'll write it.
Yeah, let's get a script going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill your family.
Produced by Jordan Peele.
I'd be fine with that. You could plaster that name everywhere. What up, Jordan? What up, Jordan? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else really. What up? What movies are you guys looking forward to that are still coming out? Any other big ones?
Battle After Another, definitely.
Yeah, one bad out there, another.
15 hours long. I'll definitely go see that.
Yeah, that's the Leonardo DiCaprio one. I had no interest from the trailer, but now it's getting a crap ton of great reviews. People saying it's an Oscar front runner and that Leonardo DiCaprio deserves an Oscar for this. So I feel like I have to hop on this bandwagon. I was gonna probably see it anyway,
wanna
just
see
because we have AMC A list. But now I'm like kind of like really intrigued on like what it is, how it is.
I saw
You
during.
guys gonna?
Oh, go ahead, Spencer.
I was gonna say, are you guys going to watch the new Jujutsu Kaisen movie in December?
Ooh, I didn't know that was coming out.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
next arc.
oh yeah,
We definitely got to tap into,
100%,
especially after the hype of the
yeah, Demon Slayer,
Slayer movie.
dude. Jujutsu Kaisen on the big screen would be
Yeah.
sick. Oh shit, I didn't know that was coming out in theaters.
Yeah, I saw like a trailer like this morning.
Ooh,
It said December 6th.
ooh, add it to our calendar. Joy, we gotta add you to the calendar. We have a calendar, a Google Calendar, where we put all like the movie releases so you can kind of see what's coming out. The summer is over. The summer blockbusters are over. I think the last stretch for these really big movies around the holidays are gonna be huge. And a lot of big TV shows like Stranger Things.
Yeah. You guys watching Gen V?
I need to. I have not started.
I've seen like maybe the first episode and like half of the next one.
Good.
There's some things to talk about. I feel like we should watch the first 3 episodes and then like talk about that first like pack of episodes that they dropped, and then maybe revisit it at the end of the season, talk about what we like.
Let's get on that next week. Check back next week for that Gen V video then.
Bet.
All right.
Have you seen Gen V, Jory?
Mm-mm. I mean, I never watched The Boys.
The Boys?
So
Just tap in. You
Yeah,
kind of
you gotta lock in, dude. Before the final season of The Boys.
remind me of Homelander.
I can't be good.
Nah.
No.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so we got some cool ones coming out probably next week, and we'll have some Gen V vids. Maybe we'll have a one battle after another vid probably next week. And we'll have Smashing Machine coming out. We got some good ones. So
The real goat. The real goat.
it was weird.
Notice how he's not holding up an Eli Manning jersey.
Yeah.
Eli's better.
It was weird too because they kept talking about the GOAT and him in the movie, but I think they forgot to like put my face in there.
Oh.
Boo.
Yeah, no.
No, just no. Just
All right,
no.
you didn't ask, but
Yeah. You didn't ask, but that's a review for him. You know, it was originally going to be called The GOAT, but then that GOAT animated movie by Warner Brothers was coming out, so they had to change it to him.
Really?
Yeah.
Him is
Anyway,
the title.
yeah, I think him is better.
better
Yeah.
than the GOAT.
Yeah. Anyway, him directed by Jordan Peele, written by Jordan Peele. That's that's a review. Check back in. Check our TikToks out. And check out our 2-hour video last week, or that came out like a day ago. For Demon Slayer and Long Walk.
Better.
Double header.
Yep, check it out.
All right.